Good afternoon. Well, it's been a very eventful 48 hours in the cryptocurrency market. All sorts of crazy rumors about what has happened in this market. And one saying comes to mind, buy while there's blood in the streets, even if it's your own blood, right? Everybody's scrambling in this market for a reason. Who should we call? Who should we blame, right? Who's responsible for all of this? Well, I want to offer up some hopium here and perhaps some doomium on the other side. Yes, I do think Bitcoin is in for a big bounce. Yes, I do think Bitcoin has put in a major local low and perhaps a major cycle low as well. But yes, I do think there are some signals that Bitcoin could head lower around 25,000, our next downside target. We do see open interest coming down from 8 billion yesterday, 13 billion at the high. And we are down today to 5 billion, suggesting that this market got entirely wiped out. This was most likely capitulation. With that said, keeping a keen eye on the open interest in relationship to price action will be very, very important over the next couple of days and weeks. If open interest shoots up and Bitcoin puts in another lower high, let's say in the mid to low $40,000 region, that would be very concerning. But for right now, I'd give it a chance to bounce and then judge it from there. The Fear and Greed Index is currently at an 11. This is the lowest we've seen in a year and a half since the coronavirus dump times. And that's a very aggressive read. People are extremely fearful. We see Bitcoin dominance popping up here, almost 4%. And we did see our target hit on the macro here right at 39.5 to the T. And that means Bitcoin pairings are likely going to take a big hit, but that still is neutral against the dollar. Let's check out our top 5 best coins and our top 5 worst coins. Top 5 best, we got Internet Computer up 41%, Nano up 22%, Filecoin up 22%, Waves up 17.5%, and Monero up 11%. And our top 5 worst coins, we got KSM down 14%, Rev down 11%, Terra down 10%, CeeLo down 9%, and Clay down 7%. What I will say about this, what I will say about this is when coins get pretty much murdered over the past few days, people start asking, well, why are they down 30% in one day? Realistically, I think a more realistic question to ask is why did it go up 2,000% in 2 months in the first place, right? What was that? You know, people talk about the fundamentals on the upside and then manipulation on the downside. But I think at the end of the day, this does seem like a technically driven move to the downside. Think about it. Bitcoin just went up straight up north for 6 months, a really, really impressive move. And so I think it was relevant to look for a pullback based upon that. Bitcoin did put in a downtrend on the daily here, which we can see. A downtrend on the daily. So April 24th, 48,000, and then we had the lower high May 7th at 59,000. That is a downtrend on the daily. You know, and that at that point we did say we were looking for Bitcoin to trade down and sideways over the next few months. And no, I don't think anybody knew it would be down 50% in just a couple of days. But I do think we should look at this as an opportunity to trade with the trend as it can be your friend. Something else we saw yesterday was the global funding rate, which went massively negative. Global funding rates, which went to negative 0.062%. So I do like this for a major low being put in. Does it turn into a macro low? Perhaps. I think it's too early to tell or to really discuss at this point. But I will be presenting more things that could make me very much consider it right now as a possibility. 2 days ago, there was no possibility. But what I will say is Bitcoin's going to whip around here. right? It's a highly volatile asset. It's to be expected to see some major swings here as Bitcoin does test around the 200 simple, this white line. That's the 200 simple moving average. I would be looking for Bitcoin to test around this area, mid $35,000 region right here, and right around the 200 exponential moving average, which is this purple line here. I would be looking for Bitcoin to test in a range around that area. What else am I looking at here? On the CMEs, the Bitcoin futures market, there was a massive chunk of volume right there, which, we have seen going back. The last time we had this much volume was June of 2019. Where was that? June of 2019, somewhere right around here. And that's when really we saw the first kind of etchings of the new bull market. Something else I want to bring up on this chart here is the weekly RSI, which does like to test in major bull markets. It likes to test this region right here at 50,000 for a basing area. Actually, it's seen better here on some of the regular spot exchanges like Coinbase. For a major bounce area, we saw test there, test there, test there, test there. And as long as that RSI, holds up, bounces up above that 50, I'd say that's a good signal that, but what does it imply? If we do break this area, right? If we can't get above the 50 and hold, that's not going to be good. And in the other thing I'll be looking at is, so does the 50 on the RSI hold up? The other thing I'd be looking at is this on a weekly. We did say this $32,000 level was the last weekly low. So if we get a weekly closure below 32,000, alongside the RSI dipping below the 50 area, that's not going to be good. I'd say as long as we hold up above that, I'd say we're still in a macro bull market. Now, on the shorter term time frames, so that's really what we'll be looking for. If this thing does turn around, I'd be massively bearish and we'd be in a weekly downtrend, and I would never trade against that as far as the long term goes. So as long as that doesn't happen, otherwise I'd call the bull market over for a very, very long time, and Bitcoin goes down probably to 20,000 and perhaps lower over time. But I don't think that's happening right now. Massive ranges right now. It's kind of a trader's paradise. But for investors out there who are just kind of guessing, investing on leverage, well, it's probably going to end badly and be a horrible experience. And that's typically why I'd recommend you reach out to one of our Bitcoin advisors, and you can click on the link in the description below, or just give us a call. I'm also going to leave a link for TradingView where you can go set up your account for free. Wishing you all a blessed day. And one other thing I did want to bring up was a note. I got an email from Mike Novogratz here, the guy from Galaxy Digital, the billionaire investor, very respected guy in the crypto industry. And this was his kind of message for clients. He said, well, and this was yesterday, it's a bloody Wednesday in crypto land. The market's down 17 to 25% depending upon what coins you're looking at. And he wanted to share some perspective on why it happened, what's the big picture. And first he said that he doesn't think these losses are existential. And he said, look, this is a very, volatile asset. You should expect 80 to 100% volatility in an asset, and when a lot of risk builds up, you get these washouts, and that's what we have. And there were some conflict events between tax day, between people having bought a year ago so their gains become long-term capital gains, between Elon Musk kind of poking the bear and talking about environmental concerns, and frankly, there was a lot of speculation going on, a speculation frenzy, people, investing in Doggy coin and Shiba Inu coin. And if you put that all together, it's pretty understandable that we saw a washout. And what did he say? He thinks, what does this kind of mean? It's a buy and hold. Hold your position and probably add on the dip, right? Bitcoin, touched down to 30,000, Ethereum down to 2,000. Seems like very good support there. And, what I liked that he said was that we're not going to put Humpty Dumpty back together again in a week, right? The market is going to consolidate for a few weeks, maybe a few months, as it rebuilds confidence. This is a confidence game. And what he did want to stress is that there is clear underlying progress in this market, and that's happening both in the Bitcoin ecosystem and the Ethereum ecosystem, and the whole crypto ecosystem is full speed ahead. So this is not trading tulips, this is trading technology, and this is going to revolutionize how we transfer value to each other, with assurance of revenue and dividends and banks, you name it. And so this is the greatest, revolution in the history of money, and it's taking place right now. And he said he always tells his friends, when it feels like it's too easy to make lots of money, something's going to happen, and that something did happen. And this was right here, a giant liquidation, giant washout. And we've seen these liquidations and washouts happen before, and Bitcoin always comes back strong. And the amount of human capital that we've seen come into the space, it's increasing, not decreasing. And I think that bodes well for the future. So he said, I would hold your ground and look for positions to add, and don't give up the faith. And with that, I will be signing out. Hope you all have a wonderful, blessed day. Take care.